Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are using a mini delight set from Altenew. This is called Be Kind. This is this month's set. Every month Altenew comes out with a brand new one, and it is a beautiful bee. And you have two sentiments in here. You have the kind and then two bees. You have a BE and a BEE. There is a die that goes with it. It's sold as a combo, so it makes it really nice. I also want to share with you that they have a mini delight subscription where you can save 20%. So if you buy this in the shop now, it's like $9.99. If you were to do the subscription, it would be $7.99. So 20% off is a pretty good deal. Although you do have to pay the shipping and taxes. Just the FYI. I had put this in my cart. Of course, Altenew sent this to me to share with you guys, but I put it in my cart just to see how much it would be for the shipping and taxes. And the total amount for the subscription was $12.52. That's for me again in Kansas. But I still think that's a great deal for a monthly subscription that's delivered to your door. These days, shipping is going to kill everybody. So, not too bad. And you know how much I like these smaller stamp sets. So let's create a beautiful bee card today. We're going to use blacks and yellows. So I grabbed my little ink cubes. We're going to ink up our bee here with jet black ink. Stamp this on some white cardstock. And I don't know if I should bring in my Misty or not, but we're going to take a chance and stamp it. Well, it's a pretty solid image, and I wasn't sure if I needed to stamp twice. But it stamped beautifully. I don't think I got lucky. I just think it stamps beautifully. We're going to do this 3 times on our white cardstock, and then we're going to stamp our second layer. This is nice because you can stamp the stripes for the bee separately. So you could use any colors you want. I'm going to use 2 different colors of yellow, kind of ambery colored yellow, starting off with my butternut mini ink cube. I think this is part of the fall harvest ink cube set, but I wanted to add a little shading with my darker ink, so we're bringing in the yellow ochre. To add shading, I just want to ink up one side of my striped image here, and then we'll stamp that right over the top. Very, very easy to line up, guys. If you're intimidated by layering stamps, then you have no issues with this. And the nice thing about this too is if you wanted to create a background with these bees, you could, and it would be effortless because of the layering effects that you have. Well, so you can see here just the shadow on one side adds quite a bit of dimension, and I think this has worked out perfect. I'm going to go for like a vintagey look card, so that's why I chose some ambery colored yellows. If you use some bright yellows, I think it would look just as pretty. Like I said, the mini delight set does come with a coordinating die, so we'll take that out of the package, and we'll line it up and just tack it down and run this through our die cutting machine, cutting out all 3 of our bees. The bees themselves are big, guys. They're probably, I didn't measure them, but I'm thinking they're about 2 inches wide by 1.5 inches tall. So that's a good size bee. Once they're all die cut out, I like to fluff up their wings so we have some dimension. When I add adhesive behind them, I just like to add it to the body of the bee. This way we can fluff up the wings. Of course, if you were to mail it, your wings would go flat. Unless you want to add foam adhesive behind it, it'll prevent it from going flat. But it does add more bulk. Okay, we are going to create some flowers for our bees to be landing on. So I'm bringing in some black cardstock. I thought we would go bold with black. And I'm going to go ahead and take one of my adhesive sheets here. We're going to trim it down. Altenew has some fabulous adhesive sheets. We're going to go ahead and just cut it in half. We don't need that big of a piece. But for my flowers, I'm using an Altenew die set called Floral Doodles. I used this set in a previous video, and the die set creates a very thin outline of a flower, and then you have the background for it. The thin outline, you could use glue to adhere it to the background, but I thought it would be so easy just adding my double adhesive sheets here. It makes a sticker out of it, and I don't have to fuss with the glue. So I'm going to trim this off just so when we run it through our die cutting machine, it doesn't stick to my cutting plates. Okay, this is the Floral Doodle set. So pretty. Love it. I'm going to take both the flowers and the larger leaf in here, and then I'm going to take the background for the flowers. We're going to line up the outline on our black cardstock, and then we'll take our background pieces and add some white cardstock to those. I could have probably cut my black paper a little bit larger, but I think we could squeeze them on here. We just got to do a little positioning. And again, these will cut out very thin lined flowers, and so the adhesive sheets are going to help out. Okay, white cardstock, I'm just going to use the leftover piece that we used to die cut out our bees. I think we can fit all three of these on here. Add the leaf to the corner and kind of play it. That's way we have no waste. Love no waste. Okay, everything is die cut. Now I'm going to push, you can see here, it just creates stickers out of them. When I die cut it out, the backing came off of them, but no worries. They're still stickers, which makes it easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I'm going to go ahead and take my craft mat, and we're going to add this over this so we don't make a mess here. And we're going to add a little bit of color to our flower backgrounds and our leaf background. I'm going to bring in my watercolor brush markers here. This is part of the Winter Wonderland set. I have 3 colors. I have Citrus, Burst, Espresso, and Jet Black. I'm adding Citrus Burst, but you know, it's very, very bright yellow. I'm going to tone it down with my espresso, which makes it a real pretty ambery color. We're going to add some water. We're going to take our background flowers and just dip those in there. Love dipping these. We'll do, normally you would do a green leaf, but I want my whole card front to be amber colored, so I'm going to go ahead and dip my leaf too. Now after these dry, I'm going to add some splatters with my Jet Black watercolor brush marker, just for a little bit of extra detail on those. Now we just twist and turn our floral outline, add that to their backing. I did wait for them to dry. I did use my heat gun actually to speed it up a little bit, but I think that looks so pretty. I just love the bold cut. This reminds me of like a vintage Western. I don't know, like if you were to go to an amusement park and get those old-time photos, this is what this reminds me of. I don't know why, call me crazy, but I just think it's so pretty. Okay, all of our outlines are adhered to their backs. Now I have a panel that measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. That's going to be our background panel. I just created it with some white cardstock. We're going to go ahead and pop up each one of our elements with foam squares, and we're going to add our bumblebees around, leaving a little bit of an area for our sentiment, which we're going to stamp right now. We're going to ink up the kind first and stamp it just above our leaf. And once we have the kind, I'm got to move over my bee wing there. We're going to take the BEE for this card today. So our sentiment says be kind. We'll stamp that with our black ink as well, just above the N in the kind. And I gotta move my wing here. I'm afraid I'm gonna get ink on it. I did that before. Okay. And I have 3 of these guys, and they're so pretty. I want to use them all, but the brain's just saying it's not flowing right. So I'm going to be moving that one bumblebee around my panel. Just a warning. If I'm not happy with the placement, I kind of fiddle around. I think black and white polka dots and black and white stripes go with bees perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do, is bring in some diagonal striped paper. I'm going to mat it on my panel. So we have a black and white stripe border around it. I do have to trim off the right side here. And then we're going to flip this over, and I'm going to add foam adhesive behind it. I'm just using some yellow fun foam. I buy the colored variety adhesive backed fun foam. So I kind of coordinate the colors of the fun foam with my project, just so if you see it from a side view, it's not as bold. You don't want to use blue with a yellow. Okay, for my card base, I created a card base with a yellow colored cardstock that kind of was almost an amber color, but we're going to add our panel right in the center. And we're going to press down real good, and I think 2 bees are plenty for my card front. So I'm just going to remove this guy, and I'm going to remove the foam square behind it, and we're going to add some regular tape runner behind it, and this guy's going to go on the inside of our card. I think these are large bees, and if you were to have a larger card base, I think 3 would work pretty, but for this size, for an A2 size card base, I think 2 is the perfect amount. For bells and whistles, I'm going to add some gems, and that finishes my card for today, guys. This card is actually part of a blog hop that, or actually not a blog hop, correction, Instagram hop that Altenew is having, and there is a giveaway. Details for that are over on my blog or my Instagram, and also at Altenew LLC Instagram page. That's the very beginning, so check it out, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. We will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.